Hey everyone, you are listening to the Life Coaching Diaries podcast, and I'm your host Ivy Somyajit. I am a life coach and I'm on a mission of touching as many lives as I can and contribute to making them great. My purpose is to share my knowledge and professional experience with anyone open to receiving it and make a difference in their lives. If you already have a good life, it simply gets better and better from here. Hello and welcome to episode number 9. And I hope all of you are doing very well. Today I want to talk to you about self-doubt. And that's because self-doubt is extremely common. More common than you might think. Even the most successful and confident people suffer from self-doubt, at least occasionally. Have you ever had any such experience where you saw tremendous potential in a friend or a family member, but they couldn't see it themselves? Or maybe you got a big opportunity and you knew you should grab it, but you were not sure if you are capable enough to accomplish the task. But this time it was someone else, like a parent, a friend, spouse, or a boss who believed in your capabilities more. And only when you accomplished the unthinkable, you finally realized you were always capable. Isn't it always easy to see other people's potential but have doubts about your own? Self-doubt is one of the most discussed issues during the coaching sessions with my client. It won't be wrong to say that almost everyone I work with suffer from some amount of hidden doubt about their abilities to accomplish more and be more successful in life. I personally believe that we all are born geniuses, and deep inside our hearts, we all feel that. Doesn't it feel right when we are at our confident and optimistic best? Every one of us has the potential of playing and winning a big game, but not everyone will. How you talk to yourself in your mind will determine that outcome. I have been fighting self-doubt for as long as I can remember. I kind of like it now because I know that every time I win this battle, I will grow. I will become a little better. And if I lose, at least I will learn something. So you see, there is no way I can really lose. I take self-doubt as a sign that I am stretching my limits and growing. Sometimes though, the fight gets very ugly, and then I need my coach to step in and help me gain clarity. My biggest self-doubting moment was when I was starting as a full-time life coach. I wanted to help people take charge of their lives, create the life of their dreams, and be happy. My intentions were good, but my inner critic was intimidating me big time. Partly because of my poor self-esteem, and partly because I considered myself a failure for the majority of my life. For those who are not acquainted with my story, I had a quite difficult childhood. I grew up witnessing a lot of fights and domestic violence at home. It was a lot of mental and emotional struggle for a kid. I grew up as an extremely timid, shy, and introvert teenager trying to hide all the time. As an adult, I failed in almost everything I tried. Average life, average accomplishments. By the time I was 25, I felt I have seen it all, struggled a lot, couldn't take it anymore. I was suicidal and clinically depressed. I was tired of being a victim. And then I stumbled upon a workshop that changed my life. It seemed to be a coincidence back then, but now, looking back, it seems to be a part of the divine plan, as there are no coincidences in the cosmos, I believe. Everything happens for a reason. I picked up a few ideas from that workshop that I felt were very powerful, and when I applied them in my life, I got phenomenal results. I realized I was not a victim. I was responsible for my life. And so is everyone else. I felt I have discovered a secret formula. Mind management is life management. If only people learn how to manage their thoughts and focus on the right things, use their mental faculties to their advantage, and choose the beliefs that serve them and empower them, they can take charge of their lives and create a life that they desire. And all these are learnable skills. They can be learned and mastered with practice. I was so excited to share the things that I learned with the world. I knew mind management is not taught in the schools and colleges. And I knew many people like me are suffering, who feel powerless and victim. I wanted to reach them and show them their true power. I was exhilarated as I thought I found my life's mission. So I started learning things and got myself certified. But when finally I had to announce to the world that I am a life coach and I can help people be more successful and happier, I was petrified with fear. The inner critic this time was not just whispering, it was shouting and banging my head from inside. Who do you think you are, Ivy? What makes you think you can coach others to be successful? You are not successful yourself. Remember, you failed in this and you failed in that, and you were never smart or popular. Who would listen to you? And why would anyone listen to you? You are nobody. You are nothing. I was terrified to death hearing that familiar voice screaming at me from inside. But you know, the best thing about working with coaches is that they won't let you quit. They will push you hard enough to break your boundaries. And sometimes that's just what you need. So my coach asked me some thought-provoking questions that made me think and realize I already had some significant accomplishments in my life that I was not counting. I was successful in some areas of my life and was working on the others. And it's fine because it's supposed to be that way. Success is a journey, right? He made me realize that I don't need to arrive before I can help others. At every level of success, there will always be people who are a few steps ahead of you and people who are a few steps behind you. You can always seek help from those who are ahead of you and help those who are behind you. It's a lifelong process. I realized I already had everything to start, and that was a game changer for me. Well, I get bitten by the bug of self-doubt quite often. Every time I'm sharing the stage with some other speakers, I get anxious and have butterflies in my stomach. I feel I don't have enough content. They already said everything. What extra I will say? They're not going to like what I say, etc., etc. When after a workshop, a participant comes to me saying, "Oh, you changed my life," I really get embarrassed. In my mind, I'm saying, it's not me. It's just the process that is so powerful. I did nothing. And this happens to me all the time. Thanks to the incredible amount of training and coaching that I have received, most of the times I manage the self-doubt and act despite my fear and insecurities. That's it. How many times have similar voices spoken to you, affecting your relationships, your money, or your life? How do you deal with it? Self-doubt, I believe, is a normal process of growth. Every time you decide to explore something new or do something bigger, self-doubt will surely show up. The voice between the ears will tell you you're not good enough, you won't make it, it's not worth trying. And that's because your brain wants to protect you. Its primary job is to keep you alive. The brain hates the unknown, as the unknown can be potentially dangerous. So it will try to protect you by convincing you with reasons why you should stay in the safe cocoon of your comfort zone forever. Also, our childhood conditioning and our self-image plays a crucial role in determining how much faith we have in our capabilities. Since we grow up in a society full of mediocrity, mediocrity is our default setup. It comes naturally. While to be extraordinary, you need to apply tremendous efforts. And still, there are no guarantee how many attempts it will take. Most of us want to succeed in our very first attempts. What will people say if I don't succeed? What if something goes wrong? Fear of committing mistakes. One of the top reasons why people do not want to set lofty goals and write them down on paper. Because as soon as they do that, they will have to confront their fears and doubts. And that's very uncomfortable. Public humiliation and fear of rejection from peers are some of the topmost fears in the human mind. A lot of people would prefer to die rather than to be humiliated in public. But aren't mistakes inevitable in learning? We didn't learn to eat or walk or read and write in our first attempts, did we? It took time, efforts, and a lot of failed attempts before we finally learned those things. So, how can you expect to be successful in your first attempt? Whatever that success means to you, a perfect body, ideal relationship, building that business, writing your book, or double your income. It would take time and effort, and there would be mistakes and failures. Have you ever asked yourself, why are you so scared of making mistakes? Where did you pick that fear from? Maybe from an incident when you were 3 years old and you got hit by a parent for breaking something valuable at home. Or when you were in the 2nd grade and everybody in the class, including the teacher, laughed at you for giving a wrong answer. Or maybe when you were 13 and were rejected by your first crush. The memory might have faded away, but you are still carrying the emotional trigger for that hurt. And every time your brain perceives probable humiliation, it threatens you to avoid the situation. And you abide. Every time you write down a goal, your mind will give you a reason why you can't achieve it. So you want to get in shape, your mind will say, but you failed last time you tried. Didn't lose even 1 kg in 6 months before you quit. Or you gained back all the weight in just 3 months after you stopped working out. It won't last anyway. So what's the use of putting so much effort? You want to start your own business? The mind will say, you have no experience. You haven't done this ever before. 95% startup fail before they complete a year. What's the use? Better be safe than be sorry. The worst thing about self-doubt is that it can paralyze you and push you towards procrastination and inaction and always keep you in the status quo. Since it is stupid to expect different results by acting the way you have always acted. Every time you decide to grow, evolve, or go a level higher than your present one, you will have to stretch beyond your familiar zone and try new things. It's almost certain you will have to face your insecurities and doubt. If you already don't occasionally face that fight inside your head, that may probably be because you are playing safe and settling for less. You cannot eliminate self-doubt. The objective is to manage it. So if you have decided to grow, expect self-doubt to pop up. What you need to understand here is, though well-meaning, the inner voice is not always right. The inner voice is speaking to you based on your past experiences and conditioning. Maybe you had a bad experience and concluded something, but that might not be true today. Things are changing very fast, right? Moreover, you are the boss here, and you have the power to choose which thoughts you want to agree upon. One of the best ways to deal with your doubts about your capabilities is to write them down. Writing brings clarity. So write, and write. Make writing a habit. Write down your big, hairy, audacious goals on one side of the page and all the doubts related to them on the other. Don't get engulfed. Step outside and look objectively into each of them. Ask yourself, where is that coming from? Try to trace the memory associated with that thought or feeling. As soon as you find out the source, the experiences will lose their hold on you. You will be free. Training and coaching is instrumental in clearing your brain so that you can deal with complexities without stress and can be what you dream to be. It's not wise, of course, to jump out of an airplane without a parachute. So seek help if you need it. I strongly believe that value in the real world is created by transformation of knowledge into action and not merely by its acquisition. If you really want to explore your true capabilities, learn to manage your mind, and be an awesome version of yourself, I invite you to join my 12 weeks online Build Your Dreams Success Coaching Program, where I will coach you personally and help you do all this and much more. Do check my website www.iv-training.com for details. Thank you so much for listening. Let me know how you are liking the podcast by leaving a comment on any of the platforms that you're listening to. If there is any particular topic that you want me to talk about, write to me at contact@iv-training.com. Until the next episode, take care of yourself and happy evolving.